Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First, an official House report recommends that the FBI go after Liz Cheney for alleged witness tampering in the January 6th investigation. Yes, that's a federal crime, folks. But hey, we might get something useful out of Cheney's Select Subcommittee after all. Next, California's Governor Gavin Newsom took a shot at DOGE and bragged about the efficiency of his state's government. That's right, the efficiency of California he was bragging about. Feels like the pot calling the kettle delusional. Then we'll take a look at the U.S. Postal Service's much-hyped electric vehicle rollout. Spoiler alert, it's more of a water feature than a delivery solution. I mean, who needs 3,000 electric vehicles when you can get 93? And you're going to be ticked when you hear how much we spent. And finally, Disney's Snow White remake might just be the one thing that unites us all. Stay tuned to find out just how many dislikes the trailer has. Let's dive in. A report was just released from the House Administration Oversight Subcommittee on the January 6th Capitol riot. The report proposes that the FBI investigate Liz Cheney for criminally tampering with witness Cassidy Hutchinson during her investigation into January 6th. So Liz Cheney might go to prison for trying to save democracy. You know, the same way an arsonist claims they're helping firefighters by giving them practice.
But a really significant and rare moment for Congress to actually suggest that one of its members should be criminally prosecuted for tampering with a witness in an official government proceeding.
I believe they're referring to the law against witness tampering that's found in 18 U.S.C. Section 1512. Look, can you blame her? It's hard to tell a compelling story when people keep ruining it with facts.
John, a quick follow-up real quick. I'm looking at witness tampering, obviously a federal crime, up to potentially 20 years in prison if this is witness tampering.
Liz Cheney was communicating to Cassidy Hutchinson around her lawyer. She was represented by a lawyer. When you go out and reach out to someone around their lawyer, you're violating the D.C. bar ethics, which, by the way, Liz Cheney was a barred lawyer in D.C., so she was obligated to follow those rules.
Cheney could be looking at 20 years for tampering with a witness. But hey, at least now her January 6th Select Committee wasn't for nothing. We may have actually found someone who committed a crime. California Governor Gavin Newsom bragged about being a pioneer in government efficiency. Because when I think of government efficiency, I think California. Claiming Newsom's government is efficient is like calling a dumpster fire a controlled burn. Newsom took a swipe at DOGE, the incoming Trump administration's new Department of Government Efficiency, calling them a promo project, while simultaneously patting himself on the back.
We've been working, I don't know, before DOGE was DOGE, I don't know this is just like a promo project. We've been doing civil service reform in this state. We've been consolidating job classifications. We've been updating job descriptions in this state. It'll be 62,000 positions. We will have eliminated those barriers and that requirement. So California's been a leader in that space.
I've seen delusional, but this takes delusional to a whole new level. So California is the model for government efficiency despite a $32 billion deficit in 2023, a $45 billion deficit in 2024, and let's not forget they spent $24 billion on homelessness, but they have no idea where the money went. Gavin, look, you really need to lay off the mushrooms. If Gavin Newsom was actually worried about government efficiency, he'd fire the guy in charge of the mess in California. Oh, wait. As part of President Biden's climate change agenda, the U.S. Postal Service is planning to purchase 60,000 electric vehicles from defense contractor Oshkosh. Now, you might be thinking, why does the post office need to purchase vehicles from a defense contractor? Well, because the mail trucks apparently need to be upgradable to include a howitzer, silly. Congress has already provided $3 billion for the $10 billion project through the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. But as of November, the U.S. Postal Service had only received 93 of the 3,000 electric vehicles that were expected by now. So we spent $3 billion for 93 trucks. You know what else you can buy for $3 billion? A working mail system, or a mansion on Mars, or 3 million trucks that actually work. For $3 billion, they got 93 trucks. For $3 billion, you can get 93 F-16s. We're paying the same amount for a mail truck as we do for an F-16. Just let that sink in for a minute. Oshkosh is attributing the delays to various manufacturing difficulties. The Washington Post has reported that when the vehicles were put through leak tests, water poured out as if their oversized windows had been left open in a storm. So they're basically high-tech bathtubs. They've given us $3 billion worth of electric vehicles that double as water fountains. And if you're still not convinced of our government's inefficiency, I wanted to briefly remind you that we've also spent $7.5 billion for 7 EV charging stations, which is almost $1 billion per station. I know that sounds pretty bad, but it does make it look like we're getting a pretty good deal on those mail trucks. There may be a lot of division on politics and religion, but we do have one thing that's bringing us all together, and that's our shared disdain for Disney's live-action Snow White remake. Disney released a teaser trailer on YouTube of the Snow White remake starring Rachel Zegler, and it has 11 million views. The film has made headlines primarily for the backlash fueled by Rachel's comments about the original Snow White. She called it dated and weird, and she called the prince a stalker. The trailer on YouTube has over 100,000 likes and a whopping 1.4 million dislikes, and counting. So the odds that you're going to like this new Snow White are 14-1. Disney's Snow White is such a disaster. FEMA just declared it a national emergency. Snow White might actually make cats look like a cinematic masterpiece. And that's saying something because that one was a steaming pile. Rachel Zegler says that this Snow White is a modern woman who doesn't need a prince. Well, based on the dislikes, it looks like she doesn't need an audience either. Thanks for watching Headlines. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.